as we zoom out and zoom back in for another game. This one is on Sunday. It'll be the earlier contest. Virginia Tech taking on the number 11 school here at your sports outpost, South Carolina, in a neutral site field, also labeled as the Beamer Bowl. Can the Hokies stop the Gamecocks offense? You got wide receiver Harbor Bennett Jr., and you have recently cleared running back out of Utah State transfer Rashul Faison, who's going to be, I think, a great running back for the Gamecocks this upcoming season. You got those weapons, and you guys, Lenore Sellers' first game of the season, one of our favorites to be a Heisman finalist. I think he's starting to get into that realm. This guy is just a tremendous athlete. Has seen comparisons to Cam Newton back when he was playing for Auburn. So you got to love those kind of comparisons if that's your starting quarterback. We love him here at your sports outpost. This program in general, the last 2 seasons under Shane Beamer has just been growing and growing. You got to love the Gamecocks. I loved them under Steve Spurrier. That was kind of like when South Carolina was kind of being more relevant in the SEC, got some wins over Alabama with his tenure down there in Columbia, South Carolina. But under Shane Beamer, he's definitely turned this program into a competitive one. Takes on his dad's former program in Virginia Tech, who we're going to talk about in a little bit here. But my big concern for South Carolina is how the South Carolina offensive line handles business. Big transition, lost some guys to the portal, lost some guys to graduation. I don't think they had a single guy drafted, if I'm not mistaken. Still was a solid offensive line that kept them in a lot of games. The running attack of, that offensive line and Sanders, pretty good. It was pretty good. It allowed Lenore Sellers, some breathing room. You do have Faison now there in the backfield with him, who I think is going to be not only a great guy to hand the ball off to, but a great target, in the flats, in the, screen game. That's just stuff that is going to be very, very awesome to see for the Gamecocks this upcoming season. But their opponents, Virginia Tech, also have a pretty decent quarterback in Kyron Drones. We did a watch along last season where the Hokies went down to Hard Rock Stadium, took Miami and Cam Ward to the limit. Great quarterback battle there. I think he actually might have gotten hurt, and that's kind of like where Virginia Tech kind of fell apart. Maybe should have won that game, to be quite honest with you. But Brent Pry, he comes into this game with a bit of pressure. Again, we call it the Beamer Bowl for a reason. I've already heard this talking point before, but I'm going to repeat it kind of because it really is relevant. Pry getting hired over Shane Beamer, who maybe should have got the job or should have been considered a little bit more. He then goes down to South Carolina, does what his dad did for Virginia Tech somewhat. I think there will be a lot of people questioning that hire if he loses this game to South Carolina. One big guy that I want to mention for the Hokies that transfers in from Texas State. He was injured last season. I believe he only played like 4 games. Still had a pretty decent amount of production. But in 2023, Ben Bell, the defensive end for Virginia Tech, I think this is a guy that we have to pay attention to in this one. He had 10.5 sacks in 2023. That is some nasty numbers for just a single guy producing. There, we should expect him to, be fully healthy, ready to go, and maybe a factor in this game and getting to Lenore Sellers. Or maybe Lenore Sellers breaks his ankles and busts one wide for the Gamecocks. Who we are going for in this, they are 7.5 point favorites here on a neutral site field. We're actually going to say it's going to be a 9-point difference win for South Carolina here for week 1 against Virginia Tech. Let us know who you think is going to win in this game as well, just like the other ones that we are previewing here at your Sports Outpost.